Okay, so this is a question that nobody wants to answer, honestly. Because the moment you start comparing who has it harder based on looks, you're going to upset somebody. But I'm not here to make people comfortable, I'm here to tell you the truth. And the truth is being unattractive hits completely differently depending on whether you're a man or a woman. Today I'm going to break down every single area of life, dating, career, social treatment, mental health, everything, and give you a real honest answer on who actually has it worse. Let's get into it. Let's start with the obvious one, dating. And look, being an ugly woman in the dating market is genuinely hard. She gets fewer matches, less attention, less validation, and that's real. But here's the thing, even an unattractive woman has options. And there are always men willing to date down. Always. Because men are generally less selective visually than women are. An ugly woman might not be getting the top tier men she wants, but she's not invisible. She's not going weeks and months without a single match. She's not being filtered out before the conversation even starts. An ugly man, on the other hand, is dealing with a completely different reality. He's being disqualified before anyone even looks at his personality, his humor, his ambition, any of it. The face is the filter, and if he doesn't pass it, he doesn't exist in the dating market. Ugly men lose this category, and it's not close. Now let's talk about how society actually treats unattractive people day to day. And this is where it gets interesting because ugly women actually have it harder in some specific ways here. Women are valued heavily for their appearance in social settings, more than men are. An unattractive woman gets fewer compliments, less social warmth, less of the positive reinforcement that attractive women take for granted. She might feel invisible in certain social circles in a way that is genuinely painful, but, and this is important, society still extends basic warmth and humanity to unattractive women in a way it does not always extend to unattractive men. Ugly men get treated with suspicion, with coldness, sometimes with actual hostility. People feel less safe around them. They get watched more in stores, avoided in elevators, written off as threats before they've said a word. That is a different and in many ways darker experience than just being overlooked. Career-wise, the research is pretty clear. Attractive people of both genders earn more and get promoted faster. The beauty premium is real across the board. But ugly women actually face a compounded disadvantage here that ugly men don't always face in the same way. In professional environments, women are already being judged on their appearance more heavily than men are. So an unattractive woman faces both the general lookism penalty and the specific pressure on women to look good professionally. That said, ugly men face their own version of this, being perceived as less authoritative, less competent, less leadership material, which affects their trajectory too. This one is closer to a tie, but I'd give the edge to ugly women having it slightly harder in professional environments specifically. And now the part nobody talks about enough. What does being unattractive actually do to a person over time? And this is where ugly men have it the worst by a significant margin. Because society gives ugly women a pass in ways it never gives ugly men. An unattractive woman who struggles with her looks gets sympathy, gets support, gets told she's beautiful on the inside, gets community. There are entire movements built around validating women who don't fit conventional beauty standards. An unattractive man who struggles with his looks gets told to just work harder, get more money, be more confident, man up. There is no equivalent support structure for him. No movement, no community telling him his worth isn't tied to his appearance. And the result of that is men who completely internalize the rejection and the invisibility with nowhere to put it. The mental toll of being an ugly man in a world that offers you no validation, no off-ramp is something that genuinely doesn't get discussed enough. So who has it harder? My honest answer, ugly men. Across the board when you add everything up. In dating, they are more invisible. In social settings, they are more likely to be treated with suspicion and coldness. In terms of mental health support, they have essentially nothing. The one area where ugly women have it harder is in professional environments, where the appearance pressure on women is more intense. But overall, the experience of being an unattractive man in modern society and BB see you invisible in dating, suspected in public, told to just fix it with money or confidence, offered zero systemic support, is harder than the experience of being an unattractive woman who at least gets some degree of social grace extended to her. That's the uncomfortable truth, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So there it is, ugly men versus ugly women. Both have it hard, but ugly men have it objectively harder when you look at the full picture. Drop a comment if you agree or disagree, because I know this one is going to be controversial and I want to see the debate. Next video is the looksmaxxing tier list. What actually works, what's cope, and what's genuinely dangerous. Subscribe so you don't miss it.